Okay, hello everybody. Alright, so this is the third video in the lesson series for this chapter. Okay, so for this video we're going to talk about the factorization of quadratic expressions using the cross method. Alright, so now what actually is factorization? Factorization is actually like the reverse of expansion. Alright, where we get slightly more complicated terms. Okay, and then we have to simplify them. Alright, so instead of expanding two linear equations to one quadratic equation like what we did in the previous video, for factorization we are actually deriving the linear equations from the quadratic equation. So it's actually sort of like the reverse of expansion, yeah. And one way of factorization is actually by using the cross method, which we'll be talking about in this video. So for the cross method, right, how does it work? Okay, we're going to try it with an example here. X squared plus 2x plus 1. Alright, so first of all, we will need to set up a table. Okay, with a cross, as you can see there. Okay, the black line is actually the cross. So, first step, we will need to shift the equation into the cross. Okay, and they'll take out the positions. Do note where they take out the positions. Okay, it's actually x squared now. X squared is here. 1. And plus 2x is here. Do take note of the signs. They need to bring their signs along with them. Okay, be it positive or negative. Right, so for the first column that you see here, alright, take note of the word multiply, because we are actually going to break up x squared into two terms. Okay, that will multiply to get x squared back. So in this example, x squared is actually made from positive x multiplied by another positive x. Therefore, we get a positive x squared. Okay, in the second column here, again it's multiply. So like in the first column, we're actually going to break up our positive 1 into two numbers where they actually multiply each other to get back our positive 1. So in this case, since it's positive 1, there's only one answer, positive 1 and positive 1. Now for our last column, it's going to be slightly special. Before going there, we actually need to do a sort of a cross multiplication here. So you can see my positive x from the top left hand corner leading down to the positive 1 in the bottom right hand corner. So when I multiply them, I get a positive x. Now for the next x at the bottom left hand corner going up to the top right hand corner, I'll get another positive x. Now for this last column, this is actually our checking column. So if everything is right, alright, this column should actually be a sum. So positive x plus positive x should give us positive 2x. Once we get this part correct, it shows that our cross method here is done correctly. And how do we get the answers? We get the answers from here. The bubbles that you can see. Okay, this is positive x plus 1, positive x plus 1. And how do we represent the answer? We simply write it down as like this. So when we factorize it, it's actually x squared plus 2x plus 1 equals x plus 1, because it's positive x plus positive 1, and x plus 1, because it's positive x plus positive 1 here too. Alright, and as you can see here, like I mentioned, factorization is actually like the reverse of expansion. So if you are doing expansion from the right hand side to the left hand side, you will find that it works. Okay, so therefore this is actually the factorization. We are going from the left hand side to the right hand side here. Okay, so we're going to try another example, slightly more complicated one here. X squared plus 8x plus 7. Okay, similarly we're going to set up the cross table. So this is the cross. Okay, the black lines. So now we're going to shift our equation into the table. Okay, remember where is your position of all the terms. Okay, x squared, positive 7, and then the x term, positive 8x here in the last column. Okay, similarly, we're going to break it up, the terms. Okay, first column is supposed to multiply, so x squared, it has to be positive x and positive x. Second column, again multiply, so positive 7. How am I going to have two terms that multiply to positive 7? So there will be positive 1 and positive 7 itself. Alright, again for the last column, we'll need to do a cross multiply. Okay, top left hand corner to bottom right hand corner. Positive x times positive 1, I get positive x. Bottom left to top right, positive x multiplied by positive 7, I get positive 7x. Okay, last column again is the checking column, so it's the sum. So positive 7x plus x, I get my positive 8x. Once this is correct, I'm going to find my answer. Okay, as you can see from this bubble, positive x plus 7 and positive x plus 1. And the answer here. Okay, so that's it for factorization. Okay, let's look at another example. See the inclusion of the negative term here. So it's going to make some differences. We have the table again. Put the equation inside in the correct places. Again, take note, the x squared term is on the first column. Constant term, okay, meaning there's no variables, second column. And then the x term, okay, in the last column. Okay, please also take note of the signs. They should always bring their signs along with them. Okay, fill up the first column and the second column. So you will notice positive 28, there's actually quite a few possibilities. There can be 28 times 1, 14 times 2, 4 times 7. So you might need to try out a few numbers, okay, before it works. Again, remember the third column of the checking column. So after you have tried a few, you will find that the answer is actually 7 times 4. And they both have to be negative because my last column, okay, is all negative number, as you can see here. Okay, I'll get negative 7x and negative 4x. Remember, my last column is a sum. So negative 7x plus negative 4x, I'll get negative 11x. Now this shows that this is correct. If you are unable to do the sum correctly in the last column, it means that your combination of numbers is wrong and you have to retry other numbers in the second column. Alright, once you are done with the checking, okay, fill out the bubbles and you get out my answer. Get another example, another negative term. Okay, this time the constant is negative. So we need to multiply. Okay, breaking up the 2. Okay, so it's 2 and 1 are the only possible answers. However, you need to take note of the signs. Alright, so in this case, one of them must be positive, the other must be negative, so that you can get a negative 2. Okay, if both our signs are the same, you will not be able to get a negative number. So the combination actually can be positive 2 and negative 1 like what we show here. You might also want to try positive 1 and negative 2. Okay, but again, there can only be one answer, which we will be checking using the last column. So we're going to sum up the last column and hey, yeah, positive 2x minus x, we get positive x. So this is the correct answer. Positive x plus 2, positive x minus 1. Okay, see that there's going to be one more example. That's a quick one. Fill out the table. Alright, so you can break up the columns. Negative 8, again, you might have to try a few combinations before you can get the correct answer. So don't be afraid to get it wrong. Okay, but just remember how to try. Okay, remember to try, don't worry, don't give up. I think you will ultimately get it. Okay, again, use the last column to check your answers. Okay, sum up the last column and you get your answers. Alright, so as you can see, the second column is very crucial. Okay, or as it gets more difficult, even the first column can be difficult, so you have to try a certain combination of the numbers as well as the signs. They do make a difference. Okay, so try the numbers, try the signs, alright, and see what you can get up with. Okay, don't worry, this one should get easier with some experience. Alright, so practice time again. So exercise 3B, basic level questions. Okay, do try question 1A, 1C, 1E, and 1G. Alright, then we will talk more about the more difficult questions in class tomorrow. Okay, so this is the end. Okay, see you all in class in the next lesson.